Hello everyone, thanks for staying connected. So once again, I introduce myself. So my name is Nivas. So I'm working as a senior product analyst at Vembu. So I'm the one who is going to host this webinar. So I'm also having Mr. Pranav with me. So he's going to be the presenter for this webinar today. Okay. So before getting into the session, I'll let you know the ground rules for this session. So this is a listen only mode. So all the attendees are only in the listen only mode. However, you have a question box in the Google, Zoho Meet application. So if you have any questions, you just please type in your questions over the Q&A box. So our team members are already joined in the sessions. We will try to answer your question immediately. If you're not able to answer a question, don't worry. We will send a mail to you with the response to all your questions after this session. Okay. This meeting is also being recorded. So after this webinar session, you can get the recorded copy of this webinar from our website. Okay, you just go to the vembu.com, and under the resources you'll be able to get the recorded copy of this webinar and also the slide that we are going to present to you. Okay, so yeah, now without wasting much time, we'll directly jump into the webinar. Okay, so before that, I would like to give a small introduction about Vembu Technologies. So the Vembu Technologies is a company founded in the year 2002. And we have a 15 plus years of experience in developing the backup solution for various IT environment, whether it is a physical or virtual or a cloud-based application. Yeah, so we have the backup solution for everything. And so this Vembu solution, Vembu BDR Suite, the Vembu Cloud BDR Suite, caters the backup requirement of business of any size, whether it is a small business, a startup with 5 to 6 employees, to the enterprise businesses with thousands of employees. Okay, and currently we set our footprint over 100 plus countries. Okay, we have a good customer base of 60,000 plus customers, and we have a partners across almost every country. 100 plus countries we have the partners, so you can directly purchase a solution through us, or you can get the solution through our partners. Okay, and we also been partnering with the various technology vendors like VMware, Microsoft, NetApp, Hewlett Packard, AWS, and Red Hat. So we are co-working with them and joint technologies. We are bringing the backup solution for the various IT environment. And coming to the BDR suite of products, so you can see the products displayed on the screen. So we have various products that catering the backup requirement of the entire IT. If you have a virtualized environment, so we have a backup solution to back up your VMware and Hyper-V virtual machines. Is an agent-less backup solution. If you have a physical machines, Windows physical machine, you can back up the Windows physical machines at image or file level, or application running inside the physical machine you can back up. So all these, the VMware, Hyper-V, and Windows image, or the image level backup, that will back up the entire machine, including the operating system, the files and folders, and application. And we have a granular backup solution that allow you to back up the individual files and folders and application from the virtual machine and also from the physical servers. Then we have a cloud native backup solution for the AWS EC2 instances. So we have an Office 365 backup that allow you to back up your mailbox, contacts, calendars, and even the files and folders from OneDrive and Google Drive. Then we have a G Suite backup. So this G Suite backup, now it is in beta stage. Sooner you will get the general version of this G Suite backup. So this, again, it is similar to that of Office 365 that allow you to back up your mailbox, contacts, calendars, and the files and folders from the Google Drive. Okay, so these are the suite of products. So we have multiple modules inside here, like you can see in the screen. Yeah, so this is about the Vembu and the product that we offer. So these are few of our customers. So as I said earlier, so this Vembu backup solution is catering the business requirement of the business of any size. Okay, starting from the small businesses to the enterprise businesses across the globe. So you can see some of the enterprise customers. We collected some of the enterprise customers list, and we are putting it, we put it here. You can see that NASA, Fujitsu, Kawasaki are using Vembu to protect their business critical data. Yeah, coming to the today's webinar. can see this is the title for the webinar, the best practices for your cloud backups of the business critical data. So here in this session, we are just going to give the best practices. So if you want to store the backup data in a cloud, or if you want to back up the cloud native applications, so yeah, so we are going to give the best practices to protect your business critical data. Yeah, this is the agenda for this meeting. So here the 5 questions is you have to ask before choosing the backup solution, then the best practices, and what are the Vembu cloud services and the Vembu that we offer. Then yeah, I just want to give a sneak peek about the Vembu Cloud BDR Suite, and followed by this live demonstration. Okay, so from here itself, I'm going to hand over this session to Mr. Pranav. So he's a product analyst at Vembu. So he's having quite a good experience in this cloud-based solution, and he's having a good knowledge on the market and what the industries are looking for, and from a backup solution. Okay, so I'm just handing over this session to him. So hereafter, so he will take the session forward from here. So yes, after once Pranav completed his best practices session to you, so he'll hand over the session to me. So from there, I will take the live demonstration. Yeah, Pranav, so you can take the session from here onwards.
Yeah, thank you so much for the good introduction, Nivas. Hello, people. How are you? Hope you're all good. Now, I just want to apologize myself before starting on with the session, because since we are all working from home due to this pandemic situation, there may be some drops in my communication. So do bear with me for that. And yes, you'll be having the recorded copy. So obviously, you can view the recorded copy in our website you have that recorded copy uploaded on the website. So as Nivas stated, today we are going to see some best practices or some best strategies that should be taken into account before putting something on cloud. So why do I say something like cloud? Just cloud, putting something on cloud, or just taking a backup of cloud? All these things comes under one single quotation, or the term that is coined, named as cloud backup. There are people who just comes in and asks us, because during our product management, we do handle some demos, and I could see people asking us, what is the main difference between like cloud backup and storing things in cloud? Both are coined by the same name, but the main differences are like the storage. So if there is something that you want to take a backup at the local level and then store it in a cloud of yours, then it is something called as cloud storage. So your backup data that you have taken it locally of your on-premise machines or on-premise system environment, that you could store it in your cloud environment for a certain period of time. That is a type of cloud backup. There is another state of backup where it is more like a SaaS-based application, I could say. So you could back up all those SaaS-based applications or your own EC2 instance and then store it in the local cloud itself. So this is also something which is related to cloud-based backup. So now what we are going to see is something which is related to this. So we are going to see both the storage level, that is having a copy of your storage in the cloud, and we also see about taking taking a backup of some cloud application or a cloud instance and then storing it in cloud. So these are the two things that we are going to consider in this webinar today. And the next to the move in my side, yes, before going on with a solution for a cloud-based backup, to just protect your data, there are some 5 important questions that you should ask yourself. Irrespective of whichever solution you choose, it can be a complete cloud-based backup solution, or a solution that even gives you an opportunity to do all those cloud services, or cloud service backup, or cloud-based service backup storage, and all those stuffs. There are 5 important questions that you should ask yourself. Yes, let's see what all the questions are. First, before you choose any backup solution, you should check whether the backup solution does integrate with your environment. So the meaning of this point is, when you take a backup, for example, there are backup solutions where you can take a backup of your local environment and you can store it in storage at your local end. But there should be a solution that would encourage you to store your data in cloud. Okay, so they should have that facility within them, so that they give you an opportunity to take a backup even at the local level and then store cloud. Or there are some backup solutions that help you to take even the backup of your cloud environment and store it in a cloud storage. So this is up to you to decide and categorize how far you're going to choose a type of solution. So this backup solution selection should help you to integrate things within your environment. So moving on to the second question, in that case, is it easy to manage, or can we do it remotely? So obviously, when we take a backup of your environment and store it in cloud, it is when I say it is in cloud completely, it is going to be like I can restore from anything, from anywhere, or it is like a cloud in the sense it is anywhere 24/7. So even at the global level, if I'm going to choose a certain solution or a particular solution, then it should give me an privilege to access the solution from a remote environment. So that type of facility or that type of feature rich in a software helps me to perform well. Okay, so I can blindly go for a good backup solution. Then I can say that this type of backup solution is something which I can opt for. So this is very important before you choose a backup solution of your wish. And then there is an option called on-prem location that you can manage when it is completely wiped off by directly downloading from Vembu Cloud. Does your solution provide you that offer? Because though the solution is installed in local environment, and due to some disaster, either it could be a man-made one or a nature one, if the disaster wipes out your local environment, then that is like even your backup server or the backup solution installed server is locally installed, then if due to this disaster the complete server is wiped out, then still can you restore your data? This is where the question mark comes in. So does your backup solution provide you that facility or the feature? This is very important before you ask. So there should be a solution that even though it is locally installed, being wiped up due to some local disasters or any type of disordered situation or abnormal situations, then always your data can be restored from cloud easily, even without the server end. You can just have install the solution in another environment, maybe in your offsite location or some of our branch office. You can just install it and just download things. Still you will have then access to your cloud, the data that is stored in cloud, and you can download things. So this is how a backup solution should be. So that this facility should be provided to you in that case. And then the transfer rate and the synchronization rate is more important before you consider a backup solution. So though a backup solution that you're trying to take a backup, how far it synchronizes or transfers the data locally to an offsite location, that is your cloud location, or the cloud. When you take a backup of your cloud environment, how fast that is from one cloud environment to another cloud, how fast it transfers the data or synchronizes the data, that is very important. So this is to be considered as a fourth important buying a backup solution that could cater for your environment that is mainly of cloud-based environments. Okay. Then there are some premium options that some backup vendors provide you in this market, like virtual lab, and there is something called spin-up options. These options will help you. For example, if I'm taking a backup of my local environment, and that is two or three server environments and two virtual environments. I just back up things from locally, and then I store a copy or store the data in the cloud. So when I try to restore, instead of coming back to the local environment, I should have an option to restore things directly in cloud by just clicking on a restore icon on the cloud option. So what happens, I can spin up a virtual machine or a physical data or a backup data that I've taken as a virtual machine or as a EC2 instance in the cloud environment itself. That option should be provided by the backup solution. When I say EC2 instance, it also involves some Azure blob. So I'm just denoting it with AWS. But when I take it on a wholesome rate, so within a cloud, you should be able to spin up as a new virtual machine or to a new physical server by throwing an instance on it. So this is how the things should be done. So these are the 5 important questions. So if these questions are satisfied, I know there are, we can't say that every backup solution satisfies the complete 5, but if it satisfies 5, then you can rank your backup solution at a 5-star grade. And it is main that any backup solution team or whomsoever in your environment, IT admin, before purchasing or before recommending to purchase a backup solution, should make sure that whether the solution that you are looking for has this 5-star grade, or else a minimum of 4-star is mainly recommended, because once you go for a 4-star, then obviously I can say that you're at the fairer end of choosing a backup solution. So this is for your cloud environment, that too specifically. So this is what the 5 important questions explains you about. So related to this, I have some best practice and strategies sketched based on these 5 questions, and those are, yes. So before I choose anything, then these are the 5 best practices that I could opt for a cloud backup solution or opt within a cloud backup solution. For example, if I could take or I determined, so I should define myself how often that I have to take backups. So this will help me at a point so that I can minimize the data loss from the last backup to the initial backup which I have taken. So at the time of failure, this can be an option that I can choose. So we name it as recovery point objective. This is between previous backup and that is the last backup before your failure or a disaster point, or the disaster could occur in your environment. So the previous backup is known as a last backup. So this time period which I choose, for example, I take a backup at every 20 minutes of interval, or a 30 minutes of interval, or a 1 hour of interval, whichever it is. So the next backup is going to be in 1 hour, and within the last hour, within 30 minutes, I have a breakdown or a shutdown or something as a disaster has occurred at that location. So what happens is I have still 30 minutes of gap. That 30 minutes of gap, or the data or any critical things that have happened between those 30 minutes is lost. Though before 30 minutes I have all the data stored, but that 30 minutes of work will be lost. So I should decide and make sure if mine is more critical, that even 1 minute of data is more important, that makes me money, then obviously I should keep a lower repo ratio, or that is like RPO ratio should be very low. It should be like within minutes, that too, or within minutes in the sense it should be within 5 minutes or 2 minutes that I can, or my firm can accept the loss with. So that is how I have to decide or determine to take backups before in the backup solution that I have chosen. And then the RTO. So the recovery time objective helps me to determine how quickly I could restore the data. That is the data which I have backed up. See, the backup doesn't alone give you a proper solution, but the backup and recovery is very important. Though you have taken a backup within like a 1 minute, even within 1 minute of time period, that is your RPO is less than 1 minute or within 1 minute, you should be able to restore the data that you have taken at 1 minute of time gap within minutes or seconds. So this is very important. So the recovery time objective is also very important as that of recovery point objective. So when I choose a time period, I should be able to recover the data within the time, within a complete second, so that I can make sure that I have a complete business continuity within my length. And then I have something called as store backups locally and replicate them to an offsite location. So this is, we call it as redundancy or replication, or we can say it as mirroring or cloning, or storing it in offsite location. We call it as offsite DR purpose and whatsoever. So the solutions at various range in this market, they call it in different terms, but what I would say is, like, it should have a copy of the data that you backed up in another location. Either it could be an offsite location, that is your remote office or a branch office, or you can store it in even your cloud. So when I say this, what happens is, even though I have a complete loss of my local environment or a production environment, I have something at my cloud, so I can boot things up from there and bring and restore my complete backup environment. So this is what is very important, and this is what a perfect planning or a strategy before planning a backup solution needs in. Okay, yes. And after that, I have something called how to consider things before you recover the events, so that at times may need to recover from. So it is like which I have already explained you. So for example, you have a backup solution, you have taken a backup, you have put things and stored things in cloud. Then in this cloud environment, how could you restore? Is there a permission, or do you have the facility or a feature to click on the restore from the cloud, and you can spin up things within the cloud? Like, as I said, like I can spin up as a complete instance, a new cloud instance, or a complete as a virtual machine, or a separate machine, or something within cloud. So what happens is, even if I have a complete loss of my local, that is on-prem environment, I can still continue my data or continue my business from the cloud with the cloud data. Yeah. And then it is very, very important to categorize what it is needed, because in cloud it is obviously like a pay-per-use method. So it doesn't make you sense, though you have purchased some backup software or backup solution at a lower rate, low rate in the sense that is the complete MRP, that is the total cost of the solution. Then you should make sure how you categorize your data, because these things that you're taking a backup will be stored in cloud, and paying for use is going to charge you based on that. So when you take the critical amount of data, make sure the most critical data are given the higher priority. So only with the data's criticality you can categorize them. So once you say that this data is very important, so without this there may be a loss in my business empire or a business continuity, then you can take that as the most critical data. You have to categorize them in that manner. And then comes the occasionally needed instances. For example, there may be some works or some codings or whatsoever. Those are occasionally needed. It is not that it is very important, but it should be there. That's it. In that case, you can just put things as occasionally needed things. So what happens is, when you give a priority, when you categorize things in a more critical manner, you can just start them up. And what happens is, you get things to store them in the cloud, so you can prioritize them automatically. So whenever you face a disaster at the lower end, that is at your on-prem, you can have this most critical data to be booted up immediately. as an instance, or you can restore them immediately to your local environment or to your another local environment, so that you have your business continuity under control. And there is also, similar to occasionally needed, there is something called as archival. So these are, I could say it as memories that should be taken for a longer end. So if you want to store the data for a longer period of time, then you can go for this archival option. Either you can store things and for, so that you can allot a separate storage where you can store things for a longer period of time, so those data can be used at any point of time for longer years. Yeah. And to the next, I think these are how things are being parallel, and they come in rhythm with each other. So this is how the tandem goes. And then we have a discussion or a slide which we could see on Vembu Cloud BDR Suite. So this let me see how the Vembu Cloud BDR shows a limelight on the things which I have explained before. There are some key functionalities. So obviously, the first one in this case which I'm taking is RPO and RTO. So with Vembu Cloud BDR Suite, we have some cloud-based solutions where you can directly back up the data granularly and store it in Vembu Cloud. Here, the cloud instance is completely Vembu Cloud, so which resides in AWS. So obviously, there is an option where you can take a file and application level backup, directly grab them up and directly store them in Vembu Cloud without storing a copy of things in locally, that is within your on-prem. So this is something direct to the cloud. And there is also an option where you can take some SaaS-based applications like Office 365 and G Suite and get them stored directly in Vembu Cloud. Here, the thing is cloud to cloud backup. The previous one which I've said is local machine that is backed up directly to Vembu Cloud without having a local copy. So there is two options. And there is another option called for secondary storage of your data, like secondary copy for DR purpose. So you have a local backup data, and those data can be cloned or just have a copy of that backup data in a cloud environment. So that we have through Vembu Cloud DR option. So that feature, that product will help you with that, so that so you have a local copy of your data, or the copy that you have stored it locally has a secondary copy to be stored in Vembu Cloud. So this is how it is designed. So in this case, the general notations are mentioned as key functionalities. The first key functionality is RPO and RTO, which I've told before. Both your recovery point objective and recovery time objective should be less than that. So we provide you with an RPO of 50, but the RTO we help you to achieve things that is less than 15 minutes. So that is how the software is crafted. Our software of Vembu Cloud DR Suite is being crafted in such manner. And then ready restore option. So wherever you are, wherever in this globe, you must be able to restore the data that you have taken a backup within a couple of seconds. Okay, so that gives you with a high data integrity. So there should be a high data integrity ratio, as well as you should be able to restore the data immediately at any point of time, at anywhere. So this is what the ready restore option is all about. And then where it left off. For example, well, there is a transfer of data from your local environment to a cloud environment, or from a cloud to cloud, all through a network. So if there is any breakage in the network, or there is any interruption in the network, obviously there are some packets that puts on hold. So you don't need to start everything from the scratch. So it is from where the actual interruption has been made, from that the data will be continued once a connection is established. So this is the option called where it left off. This is what it is provided within Vembu 2. And the next, yes, we have a compression ratio. So as I said, as this is the cloud, when you take about cloud, there is something called as pay per use. So if your size is higher, obviously your pay would also be higher. The storage space will also be higher, so you have to pay more. So when you have a good compression ratio, obviously the data is compressed in such manner so that you have things to be uh, managed so that you pay less for that data storage. And then you have encryption. So the data which you have taken is all encrypted with the AES 256-bit algorithm. So it is an end-to-end encryption that we have achieved. So even if you transfer the data from local environment to a cloud storage, obviously the things are encrypted. Even from cloud to cloud, the data is encrypted. So throughout the network, it is going to be encrypted with an end-to-end encryption. And the granular recovery. Obviously, the data which you are, even though you have taken an image level backup or the cloud DR that you have as an image data within it, so the data when you try to restore, you can restore things at a granular level. Even at a SaaS type of backup that you have taken, like you have taken a Office 365 backup and stored things in Vembu Cloud, you can restore at an email level. Okay, so you can restore at a mailbox level, mailbox items, then the files, the folders, and the granular level of applications that you can achieve with granular recovery options instead of restoring the complete data once again. Yeah. So now I've just given you the key points that that we hold within Vembu, and I have also explained you regarding the strategies or the best practices that is required for a backup solution that is more catered towards cloud-based backup solution. Now within Vembu, we have a BDR suite. We call it as Vembu Cloud BDR Suite. So this encapsulates the features like directly backing your files and folders and applications to Vembu Cloud without any local data. And then there is an option called SaaS backup, that is your Office 365 backup, where you can back up the data from that is in a cloud data to another cloud data, so a cloud storage. So this is how it goes. And then there is something called as Cloud DR. So the data that you have stored locally can also have a copy of that in cloud, Vembu Cloud. So this is Cloud DR. So all this bundled up together forms you the Cloud BDR Suite. So yes, at a file level, that is like files or folders of Windows, Linux, Mac, it can be any of this operating system. Even the NAS can be backed up through an agent and it can be stored to the Vembu Cloud directly. And as far as applications are considered, we can take a backup of Microsoft Exchange, SQL, SharePoint, Outlook, MySQL, and these application data can be taken a granular level of backup and then stored directly to Vembu Cloud. And you can also restore them at a granular level. And then we all have something called as Office 365 backup. This is obviously a SaaS backup solution. This Office 365 is a cloud-based solution. I create a SaaS application. So this application can be taken a backup at a mail level, that is more granular towards mail level, contacts, calendars, and OneDrive can be taken a backup, and you can restore them as well. So you can just take things at a domain level, and you can even restore things at domain level of a Microsoft Office 365. The domain status can be taken a backup, and you can restore things at a mail or contact level too. And then we have something called as the DR options, which I told. So you taking a backup at a local environment, either it could be a VMware, that is your virtual environment backup, a physical machine backup, that is an image-based backup, and then file and application backup. So any of this data that you're trying to take a backup will be stored locally at Vembu BDR backup solution that is attached to a storage, and you will also have an option to store a secondary copy of these backup data in Vembu Cloud. So that Vembu Cloud is an option called Vembu Cloud DR. It comes with an option called Vembu Cloud DR. So this is mainly for disaster recovery purpose. And then all the backups that you're trying to take a backup is all of incremental backups. And obviously, as I said, it is an end-to-end AES 256-bit encryption enabled. And then you have instant file and application level recovery. So this will also help you to achieve an RTO that is less than 15 minutes. Then you can restore your backup data from anywhere and anytime. That is the main purpose of this cloud. This is all achieved from a single centralized UI. So you can configure things and manage and restore backups from a centralized user interface. Next, on this note, I'm going to talk things on architecture. Yeah, so this is my architecture for my Vembu Cloud Backup for files and applications. So these are some of the files and applications which I have mentioned already, and also the Windows OS of whether these applications run on a Windows OS or a Linux OS or a Mac OS. And there are some files and files and folders that you can even take a backup from a Windows, Linux or Mac perspective. So when you take a backup, you will be using it through a Vembu client agent. So through a Vembu client agent installed locally in your target machine, you can just take that backup and you can send things and store it in Vembu Cloud, which is all encrypted at the end to end. So this is what has been explained is in this architecture. Yes, and on next phase. Yeah, this is something of Vembu Cloud Backup for Microsoft Office 365. Though your Microsoft Office 365 is already a cloud environment, that is, it is all stored in cloud. It's a SaaS application. This application can be either it can be taken a backup at a granular level, that is like a complete domain, where you can choose either only to take a backup of your mails or calendars or the OneDrives that is provided by Office 365, or you can take a complete domain and send things and to Vembu Cloud. So this is a cloud-to-cloud based backup. So when you restore, you always get an option to restore at a granular level. Yeah. And the next, I have the complete structure for Cloud BDR. So yes, so this is the image level backups that involves a virtual environment backup as well as a Windows Server and workstation backup. And that is a backup for your files and applications. Along with that, you also have the backup for Office 365 and G Suite. So remember, so though the file and application can directly be stored in Vembu Cloud, that is completely different, and the Office 365 and G Suite backup directly to Vembu Cloud is completely different. So these both are completely different, but what I'm showing you here is for Cloud DR purpose. So all these image level backup, file level backup, and or the SaaS backups can be backed up to the Vembu BDR backup server, that is to your storage attached to this Vembu BDR backup server. So once locally, so this is all installed locally, you back up the data, store it in Vembu Cloud BDR backup server, and from the BDR backup server you will have a copy to be stored in Cloud DR. Okay, so when you restore, you get to restore it locally itself, but when there is a problem, that is a complete BDR server, the local environment is vanished or washed away, then you can restore your data in Cloud DR because you have a copy of the complete data over there. So you can use that option. So this is what the architecture of Vembu Cloud DR explains you. So this is what from my end. So the whole thing I have explained you about the Vembu Cloud and Vembu Cloud DR. So there are two differences. So I have explained you the details based on the cloud environment. From here, to know more about Vembu Cloud BDR through a live demo, it has been handled. This session will be handled by Nivas. So he'll explain you the complete data which I've explained you theoretically through a live demo with an hands-on experience too. So Nivas, the podium is all yours. You can take up from here now.
Yeah, thank you, Pranav. So that was a very good informative presentation. Yeah, I hope everyone get a good knowledge on what the cloud backup is and how they can protect their business critical data using Vembu. Yeah, so without wasting much time, I'm taking you to the live demonstration of how the Vembu Cloud BDR Suite works. Okay. Yeah, so I hope everyone's seeing my screen. I'm just sharing one of the mission where I have already set up the things ready. Okay, I hope you can see my missions. So this is one of my mission. Okay, so this is my demo machine. So I'm just going to give an overview of how the Vembu works. Okay. Um, to get started with Vembu Cloud BDR Suite, so just go to onlinebackup.vembu.com. So it's a single login that allows you to do everything. Okay, so if you don't have an account, just go to onlinebackup.vembu.com and click on the sign up button and create a Vembu Cloud BDR Suite account for you. So once your account is created, just log in. So this is how the Vembu Cloud account will looks like. Okay, from here itself, you can configure the backup for your file servers, endpoints, and application, and you can also configure the backup for your Office 365 and G Suite. Okay, configuring backup for your endpoints and file servers and application. So this will allow you to. So this is an agent-based solution. So will be you have to download this agent. Okay, for this, just click on the backup and click on add new clients. Okay, so you have to download the agents. So the agents are available for Windows, Linux, and Mac machines. So just download this agent and install this agent on your machines from where you want to back up your files and folders and application. So I have already installed this. So yeah, just download this client and install it on your machine. So you will get a shortcut like this after the installation, and this is again a web-based console. So the console will looks like this. So yeah, this is how the console will looks like this. So once the agent is installed, okay, so just click on the backup and click on file backup, or again you can back up your applications such as Exchange, Exchange Mailbox, SQL, SharePoint, MS Outlook, and MySQL. So all the backup data will directly go and get stored in Vembu Cloud. Configuring backup from this Vembu client is very simple. Just click on backup. Just for example, I'm just showing you how the file backup works. So you have to click on the file backup. Okay, so you have to select the files and folders that requires the backup. If you show the tree, okay, you have to select from the tree the files and folders that requires a backup. Okay, for example, I'm just selecting some two files. For example, you have an option to filter the files and folders. Okay, then click on next. So in here you want to schedule how frequently you want to run the backups. So the scheduling it's a continuous schedule. We have an option to run the backup continuously. So whenever the files are getting modified, the data will be already also backed up and be sent automatically to the cloud. And we have a fixed schedule also. So you can the fixed schedule is starting from 1 minute. Okay, so but you have a lot of flexible scheduling. Vembu offer the flexible scheduling, so you can run the backup every 1 hour, or you can run the backup up to 12 hours here. Or you can run the backup daily or weekly, continuous, or run once. You have a lot of option. Okay, just select any one of the schedule, then click on next. So you have to select the retention policy. So how long period you want to retain the backup data, you have to select from here. So you have a flexible retention policies also. You can either go for the version-based retention or the time-based retention. So this time-based retention allows you to reach to the backup up to last 10 years. Okay, so even you can do it for a single full backups chain, and if you're scheduling multiple full backups, you can retain even more. So we also have the retention for the deleted files. So we have additional full backup. We have some advanced option that allow you to run the pre and post commands before scheduling the backups. Yeah, you can encrypt the backup using this option. Then click on next. Yeah, that's all. Just give the name for the backup job and save the backup. If something goes wrong, if any of the files that you have backed up gets corrupted or deleted, no worries, you'll be able to restore the data from here by clicking on this restore button. So all the backup that you configured from this mission will be displayed here. You can just click on restore and you're able to restore the data. You can restore to same location or you can restore to different location. Okay, in some case, if this entire client goes down, you don't need to worry. You just go to the Vembu Cloud BDR Suite console. So you have an option to recover the backup data here. If you're configuring the backup from multiple clients, so all the data from all the clients will be displayed here. You can just click on restore and you will be able to restore the backup data. Okay, if you're thinking, if you just want to select a particular client, okay, you can just use the search button here. Just click on Vembu 27. So yeah, just click on the Vembu 27 demo here. So only the backups that are configured from that machine alone will be listed here. Just click on restore and proceed further. Okay, you have a lot of management functionalities here. You can just customize the storage for each and every client. Lot of functionalities here. So this is for the file server, endpoints, and application backup. And this also offers the Office 365 backup. So if you want to back up your Office 365 account, yeah, again, it's pretty simple. So I'm just showing a different account. Yeah, guys, just hold on for a minute. I'm just connecting to one of my accounts, so that has the this Office 365 backup configured. Yeah. So there's a different account. Second is another demo account of mine. So here, just click on this of Microsoft Office 365 and G Suite tab. So this allow you to back up your Office 365 and G Suite. So just click on backup and click on add domain. Okay, so you have to add the domain name and you have to provide the tenant ID, the application ID, and after providing this application secret key, so you'll be able to add a domain. So once your domain is added, you can configure the backup for your Office 365. So this will back up the data. So you can back up the entire domain, or you can select the individual mailbox and configure the backup for it. Okay, you can just select the, so I just set up a configure a backup. Okay, just click on configure backup. So it will allow you to back up the entire domain or specific users. I'm just selecting the entire domain. You can select the schedule and you can select the retention point, compression enable, then click on next. Just give the name for the backup job and save the backup. Okay, if something goes wrong, no worry, you can just click on restore and you'll be able to back up the entire mailbox, or you can pick the granular items. Okay, you can just restore the individual mails or OneDrive items, calendar, or contacts. So you can restore to the same mailbox, or you can restore to the different mailbox. Different mailboxes also. Yeah. So this is how the Microsoft Office 365 backup works. Okay, so this is a direct cloud-based backup solution. So Vembu Cloud BDR Suite. So we are also bringing in the AWS backup and the backup for VMware, Hyper-V, and Windows and Linux machines directly to the cloud without having a local backup server. So these features are coming in the next versions of Vembu. Okay, so this is about the Cloud BDR Suite, but directly backing up the data to the cloud. Okay, we also see the other set of features that Vembu offer, that is Vembu Cloud DR. So this is a DR purpose. This is a DR solution from Vembu. So for this, you need to have a on-premise backup solution. Okay, so this is one of my on-premise backup server. So setting up the on-premise backup server is also pretty simple with Vembu. So just go to vembu.com and click on the download button there. So that will allow you to download the backup server. And once after installing this backup server onto your on-premise computer and connect the storage, then you'll be able to back up your data and store the backup data to the on-premise storage. So this is the one of my on-premise servers. So I'm having some backups running here. So I have configured a VMware backup, image backup, and Hyper-V backup. So you can configure the multiple backups here. Again, you can also configure the backup for your Office 365 and store the backup data to an on-premise server. Then you have the backup of AWS also. So this is a cloud native solution now. So it will now redirect you to the a different cloud console. Okay, you have to set up a cloud console in your AWS, and then you'll be able to back up your AWS EC2 instances. In the next version, we're also bringing it to the on-premise model. Yeah, this is the on-premise backup server. So after connecting to the storage repository, you can configure the backup for your virtual machines and physical machines here. Okay, so as a Cloud DR, so with Cloud DR, you'll be able to set up a secondary copy. So that means using this offsite and Cloud DR option, you can send a copy of backup data to your Cloud DR account. In any case, if this something goes wrong with the backup server, if this backup server get corrupted or crashed, you don't need to worry. You can just log into the Vembu Cloud DR. Okay, you can log into Vembu Cloud DR account, and you will be able to restore your data directly from there. So assume this backup server get crashed. Okay, so I can just log into the Vembu Cloud. Okay, and I will be able to initiate the restores. So just give me a minute. I will let you know how to log into Vembu Cloud. So logging into Vembu Cloud DR is pretty simple. Just click on clouddr.vembu.com. and log in with your Cloud DR account. Yeah, so this is my Cloud DR account. Here you can see the backup data from the multiple backup servers are sent here. Okay, so you can see all the data is here. So you can see one of the backup is being replicated here. You can just click. Okay, so setting up the Cloud DR is pretty simple. So just in the backup server, Okay, just click on edit and enable this offset or cloud DR option. First, you have to click on the cloud DR server. Okay, so you have multiple settings here. You can throttle the bandwidth, you can change the replication window, and you can also set a different retention policy for the data that is getting stored on the cloud DR. And after setting up everything, just click on update or save replication. For the first time, you have to save the replication. So all the data from this backup server will get replicated to the cloud DR. And even you can also customize the data that you want to replicate to cloud DR. If you don't want to, so you have this option called offset replication here, this tab. So this tab allows you to control the data that you want to replicate to Vembu Cloud. So you can allow, if you just click on replicate now, it will start replicate the data to the Vembu Cloud DR server. Okay, you can see, right? So this is started replicate now. Yeah, it's starting replicating the data to the cloud. Yeah, when you log into cloud, you can see these backup data is getting replicated. Okay, so this is how first, yeah, before that you want to register this application. So just go to the management and click on license management. First, you have to register the your Vembu BDR server to the portal account. Okay, the same portal account that you use to create a Vembu Cloud DR account. So I'm using the same account. So just click on register account. So once you register, it will automatically send the backup data to the registered account. So when you open the cloud DR account, you can see the backups are getting replicated here. So I have initiated replication, right? So you can see that that data is being replicated to the cloud DR. Okay, what happened if the backup server goes down? No problem, just come and click on the recovery option. You can see all the backup data that are configured from different backup servers. So yeah, I don't have any backup server here. That backup server that doesn't have any backup data. So just select my backup server. So Vembu BDR 90 is my backup server. When you click on the Vembu BDR 90, you can see the backup data that are being replicated from that server. Okay, just click on restore. Okay, so you have two restore options here. You can either recover the files and folders. Instead, if you don't want to restore the entire machine, if you just want to restore only the particular files and folders, yeah, pretty simple. Just click on file level recovery, then click on next. So you have to select the recovery point. You have multiple recovery points here. So I'm having two virtual machine in that backup job. This expand this Windows 7 machine. So you can have this BSD X here. You can select the volumes. You can keep on expanding. You can select the files and folders, and you can restore to the different location, the location where you need. It will download the backup data. So a link is created. Using this link, you'll be able to download the selected files. And then you have an option to download the backup data into multiple virtual file formats. So this is my Hyper-V backup, but I can still download the backup data into VHD and VSDX format. Just click on this download VM option. Yeah, I can download this the Windows virtual machine into VHD and VMDK file format. So yeah, if something goes wrong, you can just download this data, and using this virtual file, you'll be able to create a virtual machine on a different hypervisor. So that is with the cloud DR. So yeah, so this is how you can set up a DR for your business. And yeah, so right now we have two recovery options here. In the next version of Vembu, we are bringing in a lot of recovery option. Even you'll be able to spin the backup data directly as a virtual machine on your account, on your cloud's server, on a AWS or Azure. You can directly spin it as a virtual machine and continue with your business. There are a lot of features that are coming in the next versions of Vembu. Yeah, so we have a roadmap ready for the next releases. I would like to share the roadmap with you guys. So here you can see, I just go to the presenter mode. So here are the features that are coming in the next versions of Vembu. The Hyper-V backup. So we are bringing in the Hyper-V replication. So this replication allows you to replicate the virtual machines from one Hyper-V host to another Hyper-V host. So we have a multi-host backup configuration that is coming in the next version. Pre and post scripts for the virtual machine backups, parallel VM processing. You can also select the VM order when configuring the backup job. So this is for the Hyper-V VM back. And for the physical machine, we are bringing in the Linux disk image backup. So right now, we don't have a disk image backup, image level backup for the virtual Linux physical machines. Okay, so we are bringing in the Linux image level backup for the physical servers and workstation, and the parallel disk processing for the back physical machine with multiple disks, and granular application backup for the Oracle, SAP HANA, and Postgres. In the SaaS application, like adding to the Microsoft Office 365 backup, we are bringing in the SharePoint Online backup and Teams backup. Then, so right now the G Suite backup is in beta stage. So we are the G Suite backup is going for the production version. And coming to recovery, as I said, right, the live recovery. So you can recover the backup data, even the backup data on the physical environment. You can restore it to the AWS or Azure. Then you'll be able to perform the live recovery even when the instant boot recovery is going on. So we have an option called the instant boot VM that allow you to instantly boot the backup data from the backup storage repository during the time of disaster. There's no downtime here. If something goes wrong, you'll be able to instantly boot the backup data from the backup storage, and during this instant boot VM itself, you'll be able to perform the full VM recovery in the background. So that feature is coming in the next version. Yeah, and we have a lot of general features. So these we curated this feature based on the request from various users, and we're planning to bring it in the next version of Vembu. So you can see the config. You can prefer the network for your backup. So we are bringing in the backup templates. We are improving the backup performance. We are bringing in the Active Directory integration. You can integrate the user, and you can set up the backup for the particular user or for a group of users. We're bringing in the write left off feature for the image level backup. Okay, synthetic full backup. We are bringing in the secondary copy. So right now you can send a copy of backup data to an offsite server or to Vembu Cloud. With the secondary copy, you can just connect a NAS or another storage device, external drive. You can send a copy of backup data over there without need of a additional server. Okay, we are bringing in the feature to connect your object storage like AWS S3 and Azure Blob and other S3 compatible storages. We are bringing in the GFS, the advanced GFS retention, and you can also manage the files and folders backup directly from the backup server itself. Right now with the Vembu backup, you have to install a client agent, and using this client agent, you have to configure the backup for the files and application. But from the next version, you don't. Yes, it's again a agent-based solution, but you'll be able to manage the agent directly from the backup server console. So that feature we are bringing in. Next, so for the load distribution, we are bringing in the storage proxy and rotated drive support, backup server clustering, enhancer report, and simplifying the licensing and license administration. And for the service providers, okay, this is one of the most awaited thing. For service provider, we are improving the multi-tenancy, a comprehensive and advanced multi-tenancy feature for the service providers, and centralized management of backup servers. So right now, if you are having multiple backup servers, so we have a tool called BDR 360 that allow you to monitor. From the next version, you can also centrally manage all your backup from a single dashboard. So these are some of the features we are listed out for that are planning to release in the next upcoming versions. Okay, so you can probably expect this within the end of this 2020. Guys. So this that I want to convey. So I hope this webinar is an useful session to you. So Pranav would have explained about the best practices in the setting up a cloud backup for your business critical data. And you can see I showed the demo of how the Vembu, the Cloud BDR Suite works, and there's a roadmap of Vembu. So we are working hard to bring a lot of functionalities to the users and to make this a software best and best. Okay, and so we have a 24/7 support. So if you have any questions during the evaluation phase, so you can contact our 24/7 support. All the products of Vembu comes with a 30 days of free trial. So just go to the vembu.com, and you'll be able to download or sign up for the Vembu Cloud BDR Suite or BDR server, and download the BDR server, and just install this BDR server in your environment and start evaluating the Vembu. Okay, if you have any questions, you please feel free to contact us. So you can contact our partners across the globe, or you can directly contact us through the numbers and the email displayed in the screen. We are happy to help you. And yes, coming to the questions, we are getting a lot of questions in the Q&A session. So yeah, our associates are answering to your questions. So however, as it is a we are getting a lot of questions that we are not able to answer some of the question during in the session itself. So nothing to worry. We are happy to answer all your questions through an email. Yeah, guys. So that's the end of this webinar. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for showing interest in Vembu, and thank you for attending this webinar. Yeah, so you'll get the recorded copy of this session in our website in just 2 or 3 days. Yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye.